The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall-Greider. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall-Greider.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rebecca Hall-Greider, and I want to welcome you to the show. I hope that your day is going well. And today, we're going to be focused on helping you fall into balance, passion, and prosperity. Get ready for a fun-filled, impactful show to really help you discover your balance. And our goal today is to look at falling into balance both from a feminine, masculine type of place, as well as your prosperity and your passion. And when I think about balance, I know for myself, as I've gone through life, balance was this elusive thing for me. Every once in a while, I'd think I found it, and I'd work really hard and push myself to get to this place that I felt like was balance, and then inevitably would fall out of balance again and again and again. And I think part of it is I hadn't learned my own rhythm. I hadn't learned how to dance and build a life that was really supportive of who I am. And what I love about our guest today is we're going to be looking at that from a lot of different perspectives. And my goal for you listeners is to gain some tips and some insight and some wisdom to really help you bring that balance, passion, and prosperity into your life. Today we have Christel, Arcucci, and Becky and Cory, who are really going to be helping us look at our masculine, feminine energy. Christel is going to be helping us look at how we're in balance in our passion and stepping into our prosperity. So Christel, Becky, and Cory, I welcome you to the show today.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. We're excited to be here.
Great. Good. And what I'd like listeners for us to focus just for a minute on this concept of balance. I shared earlier how I had struggled finding this elusive thing called balance. And I think one of the reasons is because I got really good at doing. I got really good at looking at plans, projecting, looking at how one thing leads to another, and I could see very quickly if things were on course or off course, and then make a list and shift back onto course. And it was coming from this very logical, linear type of perspective. But I kind of lost how I felt about things in the process. Like if you had asked me if I liked something or what I liked, I don't know that I could answer that question, or I'd maybe say one or two things and then run kind of dry because I really didn't know how I felt. I could tell you what I didn't like frequently and how it could be improved, but I couldn't very often tell you what I really liked. And it's because I wasn't listening. I didn't build pausing into my life and really seeing on a cellular level how I felt about things. And so something, if you meet me face to face or we interact a little bit, something you may hear me say from time to time is, I really like this. or I really like you. And it's really coming from this place of recognizing how I feel about something and leaning into those things that energize me, that I truly like. And my goal is to build more of that in my life and less of the things that drain me. So one of the things I'd really like you to listen to throughout the show are ways that you can lean more into the things that you like, that make you feel good, that energize you, and less of the things that drain you and take you away from really being who you want to be. And I believe that takes pausing and listening. So I invite you to build that into your life. And my guest today, what I would love for us to do is just pause for a moment. And I'm going to invite us all, listeners and guests, to listen. Those of you that are driving, please keep driving and be fully alert. Keep your hands on the wheels, eyes open. But for those of you that are able to pause just for a moment, I invite you to put both feet on the floor, kind of ground yourself, keep your hands open, eyes closed. And actually, I invite you to put one hand on your heart and one hand on your mind or your head or your brain. The center of your top of your head can be a great place. Take a deep breath and just listen for a moment and see what comes up for you. Is there something that is coming to your heart, to your mind, that would be supportive of you, not just only being, but feeling more balanced, more centered, more in that vein or that place in life that you're wanting to be? And just listen for a moment. A word or a phrase, sometimes a picture, will come to mind. And with that, guests, I don't know, Christel, if I could start with you, if you had a word or a phrase that came to your heart or mind or both.
The word that came for me was trust, which came along with this great feeling in my body of settling and being held and supported and allowing myself to let go of doing and settle into being, which of course feels delightful.
Thank you. I loved all the feelings associated with that too. Beautiful. Becky, how about you? Did you have a word or a phrase or a picture?
The word that came to mind was freedom, and I just had this swell of energy in my heart, and it kind of started to race a little bit, but it was this excitement around just feeling really free.
Beautiful. Thank you. Cory, did you have a word or a phrase?
I did. I had creative focus.
Creative?
It's really about
focus.
like putting your creativity in a direction. Like you can really take that energy and use it to create something magnificent. And I just felt it expand from my heart. Warmth just flooded through my body.
Thank you. I think the words that came for me were listen and feel. And just really taking in everything that would be supportive of me being more fully who I'm called to be. And the feeling I got with that was just one of peace, but with a little bit of excitement and an openness, like expansion. And it just felt really, really good. It's interesting, Becky, I was thinking about your freedom. There was an element of that for me too with this listen and the feeling. So thank you for sharing that. And I wanted to do just a little bit more of a formal introduction for our guests here. Christel Arcucci is a friend of mine. I know, Christel, we've known each other for a while now. Been on the journey together here. And you are a best-selling author, an international healer. You're creator of the Soul-Centered Prosperity System or Program. I want to make sure I'm stating that correctly.
The program.
Program, thank you. And you're really passionate about women being seen, heard, and financially supported doing what they absolutely love. So I welcome you officially to the show.
Thank you. I am so delighted and honored to be here with you and to share with our audience today. It's very exciting.
Beautiful. And Becky and Cory, we've met more recently, but they are just a delightful couple. And what I really love about both of you is how you weave together with each other as you're sharing and teaching. So I just think it's a really, really beautiful energy. And I'm just going to share a little bit about each of you. But combined, let me start with combined. Combined, you are explosive sexual healing practitioners and really support women in attracting their ideal partners. And that's a passion for both of you, that you really want to guide others to live on purpose and discover prosperity in their perfect partner. And Becky, you are a recording artist and a vocal meditation teacher, and you're really passionate about women discovering, and I would even say more fully, stepping into their own voice. So Becky, I officially welcome you to the show.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Great. And then Cory, you are a yoga nidra, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, master. Did I say that correctly?
Or Nidra, actually.
Nidra,
cool.
Thank you. Nidra, I'm listening. Nidra master. And a spiritual alchemist, a poet, and an author. And just combined together, you are a powerful, powerful team. So Cory, I officially welcome you to the show.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being able to be here with you and go on this journey with you.
Beautiful. Glad to have you. And listeners, what I invite you to do, we're actually getting ready to go to our first break, and I really want to set the stage for the valuable information we're going to be sharing with you. So what I invite you to do is to take just a little bit of time to continue to listen to your heart and mind. Really, what is it that you need that we can support you in? Because energetically, when we do that together as a community, we are connected and really listening and wanting to support you on your journey. So with that, we will look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Join Rebecca Hall Grider this fall for a Women's Enrichment Retreat, November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the beautiful Westminster Retreat Center in Alamo, California, in San Francisco's East Bay area. Take time for you and step into your vision in a powerful and sustainable way. This is an all-inclusive retreat in a beautiful and nourishing environment, giving you plenty of time to relax, decompress, and refresh, while having the opportunity to connect with yourself and other heart-centered women on a deep level. To find out more, visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/WER.
Have you friended us on Facebook yet? Why not? Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for the keywords Voice America. Once you are part of our Facebook network, you'll receive daily messages about what's happening with our shows, this week's featured guests, and new happenings of the Voice America Talk Radio Network. And you can add your voice to the always active discussions on our wall. Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for Voice America.
Rebecca Hall Grider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Build your better business. Achieve that goal. Make good on that resolution. The Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your break and that you got an opportunity to listen a little bit more, to lean into what it is you need or are wanting to support you in really falling into your unique balance. So the first guests we're going to talk to today are Becky and Cory Center. And the question, Becky and Cory, I really like to ask, and I'm actually going to ask this of you individually, and some of the questions I'll ask of you as a couple, because I know you both work and teach individually as well as together. So I hope that's okay if I do that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So my first question is, and I'm going to start with you, Cory, is why is the work that you do so important to you?
Work that I do is important to me because I spent a lot of my life out of balance. I actually spent a lot of my life in a place where I resented the feminine because I had a lot of really, intense experiences as a child. And what I realized is that transferred to me. So I was dealing with my own, issues with the feminine in myself. And when I was able to really get in and resolve that within me, I was able to stand more in my masculine and actually serve and support and be there as a very loving, caring, strong man. And, it's very important to me to be able to heal that balance.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And Becky, I'd like to ask the same question of you. Why is this work that you do so just personally important to you?
I think it's a part of my own journey as well. And not only just the masculine-feminine balance within me and within relationships, but I think there's also the piece about my passion for women being heard and their voice mattering. And so, I know for me in my background, there was times if I would get upset or afraid or if anything, even startled, like my voice would go away completely. Like I couldn't talk. I couldn't hardly even move. And so being able to give women like the confidence and the ability to know that it's safe to be heard, to be seen, to be felt, and fully in their power, or even more so in their power, it's just a very, very touching, very personal journey for me as well, and want to support other women in that journey as well.
Thank you. And Becky, I actually really identify with that because that's something that personally has been part of my journey as well, that I really would lose my voice or it would get swallowed or I'd lose my words or my throat would even close down because I didn't feel safe to be seen or heard. So I really identify with just the little bit that you shared there. So thank you.
Absolutely.
And this is from a couple of perspectives. As teachers serving and supporting women and really helping them come to balance and I would say probably be prepared and discover their ideal partner or ideal person to have in their life. So if that's where they're trying to go, why is it important for them to balance their masculine and feminine energies within themselves. And actually, if I can add a second layer to that question, how would you explain masculine and feminine energy? Because I want to make sure we're all kind of in the same place as we're talking about these things.
That's a great question. And so much, gets identified that it's more than just being male or female, but we have both of these energies, that it's a giving and a receiving, kind of what is often thought of as like the yin and the yang, this perfect balance that's meant to go together. And I've noticed this within myself and within, a lot of the women in my family that are actually very much in their masculine. You'd never notice it from the outside. My mom will be out at her work and have her makeup on and earrings on, and yet she's very much in the masculine, which in this kind of definition is that she's working really hard and efforting and trying to make things happen, and kind of a pushing energy and a controlling energy, and trying to control the outcomes, where what we work with the feminine is being in that place of allowing and receiving and being very magnetic. So you're not having to go out and search and seek and struggle, but call it into yourself. So it mirrors even my own process of stepping more into my feminine. And again, hasn't really shifted that much of my external appearance, and yet I'm able to draw into me, greater prosperity. I met Cory like 2 weeks after I'd done my final ESH session, and we were married just 4 months after that. And it wasn't by me going and searching. It was like I literally proclaimed I'm ready and magnetized him to me.
Beautiful. And Cory, did you have some additional thoughts you wanted to add?
Yeah, really, a big part of why we're doing the work that we're doing is, we're watching a shift in society from a very patriarchal society to a more, matriarchal society. And as that happens, there needs to be a shift in consciousness as well. So as that's occurring, it's very important to feel out the dance between the masculine and feminine. And that's not only externally, but internally as well. It's not like, I'm a man, so I can only be masculine. And, you're a woman, so you can only be feminine. It's like being able to do the dance between like, okay, I'm very comfortable in both my masculine and my feminine. I choose to be more my masculine. So Becky is then free to be in her feminine, and we switch roles when necessary. And so being able to keep that balance, it keeps things fun. It's that dance of life. Being able to really play that back and forth, it creates empowerment for both men and women. And when men see women stepping into their power and see that they don't have to take, and they don't have to hoard, and they don't have to be possessive over things and over people and over jobs, we'll see a shift in society as a whole, and it will really bring a massive amount of healing to the world.
Thank you. And I like what you're sharing here, that it's beyond, part of it is our own work in ourselves, but it's also as we do that and we step into that balance. And I like how you even shared shifting more or less in that balance, even with each other. So within yourself, and then within relationships to each other, and then how that can ripple out in a sense in society and really create a profound change shift in how our world works and operates. So thank you. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
And I know that you've put together a really valuable gift for our listeners, and I would love to have you share about that a little bit. And if you're also able to tie in maybe a tip or a suggestion of one thing that our listeners can do to help start to bring themselves into balance with their own masculine and feminine.
So we're offering today, it's a free recording that is a yoga nidra meditation. Cory is a master at weaving this style of meditation that is quite unique, and it works with opposites. It's designed to work with opposites and allow a transcendent this transcendent third to emerge, or surprising third. And so in this recording, it's tapping in and having you access the masculine and feminine within you, whether you're a man or woman, whatever you are on the spectrum, and then getting to really access and get comfortable and flexible on both sides, and then you get to see what emerges and balance, really, really balance all the sides within you.
Beautiful. Thank you. And listen. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Cory. Go ahead.
I was just going to say a quick tip for bringing your masculine and feminine to balance on a daily basis is really just to see and ask yourself, am I in a space where I'm trying to give, or am I in a space where I need to receive? Very simple. And be able to just answer that question. There's no right or wrong. But by being able to answer that question, you can see where you're at. If you're in a place of giving, you're in a place of masculine. If you're in a place of receiving, you're in a place of feminine. The simple meditation that you can do in 5 minutes, anywhere that you find yourself.
Perfect. Well, thank you. I appreciate that tip. I appreciate that gift. And listeners, we're actually going to let you know at the end of the show, because we want you to stay with us throughout the show, how to access that meditation, that amazing gift that Becky and Cory Center are making available to you for free. So make sure that you're listening through the end, and I will let you know how to find that amazing gift. And then I also wanted to ask, let's see, I had a quick note here. So one question I had about that quick tip that you shared, Cory, is how does that relate to like that push and magnetize? Does that also, the pushing energy, tap more into the masculine side of things, and that responding is more of that receiving side, that feminine side?
Yeah, I would say that. Magnetizing is really the feminine in action.
Okay.
So one of the most misconceived notions that is, quote unquote common knowledge is that, mothers are always giving. They'll give everything for their child until they have nothing, which may be true, but that's very masculine. If a woman's standing very much in her feminine, then she'll bring everything to her that she needs for her child. And the masculine counterpart will give that to her, will provide that for her. And it's not a matter of being subservient or any of that. It's just a matter of the giving and the receiving.
Okay, perfect. I was just trying to think of a few other ways people could think about it as they're going throughout their day to recognize how they're feeling or being in each of those respective places.
The difference between electric and magnetic. The masculine is a very electric energy. So it's kind of got that zing to it. It's outward. It's connecting, and so there is this like electric quality. And then there's a difference though when you turn it to the magnetic. And the beauty is when we have both of these energies both within us or in our partnerships, our collaborations, and when you bring the two together, even physics looks at like electromagnetism and how the two together are just unstoppable.
Perfect. Great. Well, thank you, Becky. It looks like we're going to get ready to go to break here. So, Cory, Becky, I thank you so much. And listeners, we will look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
We're on Facebook along with some of the greatest minds of the world, and that includes you. Visit us on Facebook at Voice America Empowerment.
Rebecca Hall-Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
Join Rebecca Hall Greider this fall for a Women's Enrichment Retreat, November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the beautiful Westminster Retreat Center in Alamo, California, in San Francisco's East Bay area. Take time for you and step into your vision in a powerful and sustainable way. This is an all-inclusive retreat in a beautiful and nourishing environment, giving you plenty of time to relax, decompress, and refresh, while having the opportunity to connect with yourself and other heart-centered women on a deep level. To find out more, visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/WER.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed your break, that you took some great notes about the masculine and feminine and how to start building that awareness of where you're coming from or you're receiving and how you're flowing throughout the day to really start to pay more attention to where your balance is. Now we're actually going to be shifting into talking about prosperity and passion, because that's also an important part of your balance in life and in the lives that you touch. And we really want you to be able to have prosperity and passion in your life. So the expert we're going to be talking to about this is Christel Arcucci. So Christel, I welcome you to your segment.
Thank you. I'm very excited to share.
Great. And I always like to start with why this work is so important to you, really helping people step into their prosperity and really stepping into their passion and their spirituality, because I know there's frequently a disconnect between all of those, and I know it's a passion of yours to bring it all together. So what is your personal why you do the work that you do?
My why is because I have a big mission to bring the world into greater balance. And I believe that when we're living on purpose and we're in touch with our passion and connect that with our purpose, that's the greatest way we can be of service in the world. That we are sharing our gifts, our passions, our talents, our life experience, the training we've had, and then we open to receiving financial support in return for that. And I've always known and trusted that I could make a living doing what I love, and I find so many people in the world aren't in that place. And I think when people are happier and living on purpose and doing what they love and really being of service to the world, it will bring the world back into a greater balance. And I love that I'm on the show today with Becky and Cory, because although I'm working in business and not in relationships like they are, my work is very much about balancing the masculine and feminine in business, and in order to create prosperity through our work in the world, which allows us to be in balanced relationship with ourselves and our community and the planet.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I love that you're embracing leaning in to your big mission. I think that's really beautiful. So thank you for sharing that. I think sometimes we can get afraid or pause or lean back when we recognize how big our calling and our vision and our mission is. So I love you're leaning right in and helping people do this in their life. So I love that about you.
Thank you. And it wasn't always that way. There was several years there that I was like, that's too big, that's too scary, I can't do it. And although I was working, I had a successful practice as a healer, once I started integrating healing arts and business, that was the edge for me. That was pushing into the big mission. And it definitely took some time and some healing and a lot of training to be able to step into that big mission. And I am happy to be here with you and sharing this mission and doing my work.
Wonderful. And I appreciate you sharing that, because I think sometimes we just see people where they're at and we don't always know that perhaps there was an edge for them, or there was a stretch or something that was scary and fearful in the journey. And we can sometimes get intimidated or feel like, well, they just magically have always felt that way and I'm not that, so I can't step into a big vision. So I appreciate you sharing that authentically and that vulnerability in your journey. Thank you, Christel.
Absolutely.
And I know that you have a book that you've co-authored, In Pursuit of the Divine, and it's become a bestseller. And I would love for you to share what your chapter is called and about, and perhaps some of your journey in deciding to be part of that project and becoming a best-selling author.
Yes, it was a very exciting project that I found out about, and it all happened this year. And it's a fascinating story about, and it's a collaboration book. So I wrote a chapter in it, and it's 30 women who came together, and it's about empowering women. And interestingly enough, the lesson in the chapter for me was, my chapter is called Woman and Healer Transformed by Fire. And the story starts out with the time in my life where my mother had remarried a man who was an alcoholic and emotionally abusive and very inappropriate with young girls. And I was living in their household, and I went to my mother and said, hey, this is happening, and she couldn't acknowledge it. And because from my perspective, I believe she thought she needed a man to take care of her. So she chose her husband over me. And luckily I had a safe place to go and went to live with my father. But in that time, I started having flashbacks of being burned at the stake. And as a woman and as a healer, being persecuted for being in my power. And at the time, I didn't really understand what was happening. At that time, I was 13 years old. And it wasn't until later, until I got into my late teens and early 20s, that I was really immersed on the healing path, that I started finding out about past lives and had support in discovering that this was part of my own healing, of not being afraid of my power. And to me, being burned at the stake is a metaphor for our fire. It's like we're so often afraid of our power as women. We're afraid of sharing our work in the world. And so the chapter was very much about my healing process of losing my mother, which was, of course, a huge fracture with the feminine and the masculine because of my stepfather. It was damaging on both sides. And so I had a hard time trusting women for a long time, and men. And so in writing this chapter, it was just an incredible way of healing both, of really acknowledging my power as a woman, my desire to want to empower other women to be financially supported so they don't have to stay in situations that aren't supportive. And it was so healing for me to come together with a group of women that were just lifting each other up and cheering for each other. And it was really powerful and healing and transformative for me on so many levels.
Thank you. And the book is called, again, In Pursuit of the Divine. And if they were interested, can they get it on Amazon, or how?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So Amazon, In Pursuit of the Divine. Perfect. And I'll let you know a little bit later how you can get in touch with Christel, and she has a gift available for you that if you want to connect with her, perhaps have her sign your chapter in her chapter of the book, I'm sure she would be happy to accommodate any of that. And Christel, do you mind sharing about the gift that you've made available for our listeners today?
Absolutely. So when I work with my clients, I help them create what I call their signature system. So what I'm offering today is the Signature System Creation course. And it's about finding the way that you can serve your community and support yourself doing what you love. So it brings together your passion and your purpose in service of the greater good in order to create your prosperity. And it's a step-by-step process that can support individuals to find that for themselves and to create it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love that. Anything that can help us live on purpose and with purpose and be empowered, I am very, very supportive of. And I love all of us talking about that balance and really balancing their feminine and masculine energy and how we are living our life so that we can step forward in an empowered life on purpose in relationships that really are a beautiful, beautiful fit for who we are and how we're made. And Christel, then building your life and passion in a way that you can really shine. And I have just a minute or so more here, and I wanted to see if you would mind touching, Christel, on this connection about business and spirituality. And if there's a tip that you have to help people connect these things together a little bit more powerfully in their life.
Absolutely. So in building your business or being in business, whether you're working for yourself or you're at a job, the easiest way to begin to build that bridge is to begin listening to your intuition and listening to those little messages or synchronicities that happen as you're going about your day. So to me, it's very much about integrating your beingness and what you're doing. So the beingness is the quality of spirituality or your intuition, and the doing are the actions that you're taking. And as Becky and Cory were talking about, the feminine being, and in bringing that into your relationships in business, balancing the being with the doing, listening to your intuition and as you're taking action in the world.
Beautiful. Well, listeners, we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break, and what I would invite you to do is to find 30 seconds, a minute in the break, just to kind of sit in that for a moment and think about, have I been spending a little more energy in the being or in the doing? Have I been listening to the intuition and what's being pulled, where I'm being pulled? Am I responding and listening to that? Just no judgment. It's just information. Just kind of see what comes up, and we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Join Rebecca Hall Grider this fall for a Women's Enrichment Retreat, November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the beautiful Westminster Retreat Center in Alamo, California, in San Francisco's East Bay area. Take time for you and step into your vision in a powerful and sustainable way. This is an all-inclusive retreat in a beautiful and nourishing environment, giving you plenty of time to relax, decompress, and refresh, while having the opportunity to connect with yourself and other heart-centered women on a deep level. To find out more, visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/WER.
Now you can take your favorite Voice America radio program with you anywhere. Sign up for our mobile app if you have an iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry. The Voice America Interactive Radio Player, powered by Aircast, gives you the freedom to listen to any of our programs, anywhere, live and on demand. No registration is required. Listen to your favorite Voice America hosts and discover new ones. Download the Voice America mobile app for iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry, powered by Aircast. Visit the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall-Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Success starts here. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. It's your world.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone, to our final segment of the show. It has been wonderful to talk with you, Christel, and Becky and Cory, and kind of pick your brains and have you share your tips, advice, really trust us with some of your journeys and stories to really help us live our life in a more powerful way. And I wanted to give each of you an opportunity, if there was a last thought or a last tip that you wanted to share with our listeners, and just wanted to open up the floor to allow some space for that. So, Cory, I'm going to start with you. I didn't know if you had a last thought or tip or suggestion that you would like to share with our listeners today.
Yeah, my tip really in relation to, to that balance is to be gentle with yourself. Regardless of where you are or where you find yourself, you're perfect just like you are. There is no right or wrong. It just is how it is. So be gentle. Just notice.
Thank you. And I want to underline that, because I think sometimes when we're leaning in, we can get critical and harsh with ourselves instead of leaning in more with discovery and understanding and compassion and gentleness. So thank you, Cory. I think that was really, really valuable insight for us to remember. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Becky, did you have something come to mind, or a tip or a suggestion or something you want to leave with our listeners today?
I do, and this just really started coming to me about falling into balance today, and just for our listeners to notice, especially the women, if you're noticing that you're getting exhausted or losing yourself in your job or your relationship, it's usually just a little red flag that's saying, hey, pay attention to me. There's something to pay attention to. And like Christel mentioned, a time to tap into intuition and perhaps go more into that being. But just noticing when you're exhausted, because when that balance of masculine and feminine is there, whether you're male or female, the exhaustion and energy drain doesn't have to be there.
Thank you. And I think that's great to really recognize exhaustion as a red flag, not in a bad way, but an indicator, something to pay attention to, and recognize that perhaps there's a little bit of an out of balance moment going on, or pattern that could be shifted. So it's good to have that awareness and recognition. So thank you. And Christel, did you have a last thought or tip or insight that you wanted to share with us today?
Absolutely. I would love to inspire the listeners to ask themselves how you can bring all of you to whatever your activities are, like the truth of who you are, and bringing it into your work, your relationships, into your health. Because I find so often when people are unhappy in their jobs or not making the money they want through their heart-centered business, it's because there's parts of themselves that they're leaving out. And it's most often the things that they're most passionate about. So how can you bring the things that you're excited about and you're passionate about more fully into your everyday life?
Beautiful. And listeners, I hope that you're capturing these tips and really listening to them and writing them down and really, really hearing them to remind yourself to be gentle with yourself and to pay attention if you're seeing exhaustion and to look for ways to bring all of you forward. I absolutely love that, Christel, and I find that sometimes it's our unique things, the way that we're different, your passions, as you were saying, that people like tuck away and hide and then try to do things the way others do them or what they've been told to do, when I think if they paused, they listened to their intuition, they really listened to their inner wisdom, they would be able to shift into doing things and being and receiving things in a way that's really playing to more fully how they're made, instead of trying to do things all the time in a way that is not perhaps how they're made. And so I think, listeners, I would like to really encourage you to listen, to pause, to lean in. And for me, I know the journey I went on, I really but it was really valuable for me. That's a better way to say it, to start to listen to what I really liked and didn't like. I had become so disconnected from that I was doing a lot of things I thought I was supposed to do. I was getting lost, as you were talking about, Becky, and I was getting lost in my role sometimes. And I think you touched on this as well, Christel, and doing, and being exhausted at the end of the day because I had to do all this stuff. And it took a long time to trust and to relax and to listen and discover what I really liked and what I didn't like. And once I knew what I really liked, being able to build more of that in my life and allow more of it in my life. And it creates a richness. And what I've also found, and all of you may have found this as well, that it creates a ripple effect when you meet somebody that is passionate, that is balanced, that seems to radiate joy and energy and peacefulness, and it seems like things are just kind of flowing in their life and they're in the flow. You're drawn to them, you're magnetized by them, you're wanting to be around them and learn more about them and be more like that. And it invites leaning in, it invites an opportunity to realize that we can live that way. We don't have to necessarily work harder and push and stress ourselves out and burn ourselves to exhaustion, trying to force ourselves to get things done to find that thing called balance. And I think if we learn to relax, to listen, and to really visit that balancing of energies in all that we do, we can have a much fuller and richer life. And so, listeners, I really encourage you today to pause, to listen, to seek, and sit in that space a little bit with gentleness, with understanding. And then I promised I would let you know how to get these valuable gifts that Becky and Cory and Christel are making available to you. So here's the way. If you're listening to the show on Voice America Live, you look in the middle of the screen over to the right-hand side, you're going to see free show gifts. You simply click on that link. It'll open up a world of amazing gifts. So I encourage you to go in there, check out the gifts that resonate with you, and click on them and start a relationship with Cory and Becky and Christel, the gift that really resonates and pulls at you, and you can say yes to as many of those gifts as would support you on your journey. Those of you listening to the replay or on iTunes, you can go to my website, which is www.yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Click on the radio show tab, and up on the top there, you're going to see radio show gifts. You click on that, and all of these amazing, supportive, empowering tools being generously made available to you by my guests to empower you on your journey. So I encourage you to check those out. So here's the homework for the week that I want to invite you to say yes to. 1, definitely check out those free gifts and say yes to the ones that will support you on your journey. Secondly, I invite you, starting today, to just listen and observe and see what you need, how you're doing in that balance, and how you may be able to allow more of that balance and more of your passion into your life. May you always, always bloom where you're planted and shine. Talk to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Greiter, next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and 2 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.